I'm looking for a fellow who lives here, but I don't know his name. Do you know anyone with a limp?
There is one. A crooked bastard he is too. I hope you're here to take him away. He lives in a cottage at the end of the village by the road to Rattay.
Watch where you're going. Hey, is someone there?
I want to take a shortcut.
on, citizens. Move along. There's nothing to see here.
That's what you call nothing to see. I'd like to know what something to see looks like.
By the keys of St. Peter. This is all I need. We'll have to send word to Sir Hanush.
That might not be necessary.
Who are you?
I'm Henry of Skalitz, in the service of Hanush's Captain Bernard. I'm investigating the attack at Neuhof, and I think this could be related.
Well, I'm the bailiff of Auschwitz. And I say we don't want any of that kind of trouble around here. What makes you think this has anything to do with Neuhof?
One of the folk at the stud farm recognized someone from Auschwitz among the bandits.
We have no bandits or murderers around here.
Really? They say you had a limp?
Shit. Well, allow me to introduce you to Limpy Lubosh. Or all that's left of him. Sakra.
Nothing's ever easy. I'll have to take a look around and ask a few more questions, if that's all right with you.
You can take this mess off my hands and welcome to it. As for what else there is to find out, I don't know. But look and ask all you like.
Who was Limpy Lubosh?
A poor crofter and a scoundrel. Can't say I'm too surprised what happened to him. He kept company with all sorts of vermin. He was always getting into some kind of trouble. Punch-ups in the tavern and what have you.
How come he limped?
He got that from some villainy or brawl a long time ago.
Has he been up to anything suspicious lately?
I don't know. The last few days he didn't go anywhere. He was home the whole time. But he always kept everyone in the village at arm's length.
Did he have any kith or kin in the village?
None. A loner he was. I don't know the last time I saw him with anyone.
Do you happen to know where he was on the night of the Neuhof raid?
I've no idea. He kept his distance from other folk, so you never knew if he was away or holed up at home.
When did you find the body? And did anyone see anything?
Just now, and nobody saw or heard anything. I don't know how they could gut him like that without someone hearing him scream.
An inscription in blood. Pity I don't know how to read. Looks like they wanted to give someone a warning, but hey. And a banner? What's this? Looks like someone's hit him very hard on the head. Could they have bludgeoned him to death and then gutted him? That would explain why he didn't scream. Lord above, they did a hell of a job on him. Must have been agony. How come no one heard anything?
not holy at all. We even have two popes.
Jesus Christ be praised.
I'd like to learn to read.
You? You don't look like the makings of a priest or clerk. But why not? I've taught all sorts. Bear in mind, it won't be all that easy. You'll need plenty of time and a few groschen for my trouble.
All right. I don't want to waste time. We can get started. The sooner I master it, the better.
Very well. I will require some groschen from you, though, and set aside at least a couple of days so I can put you through your paces, if indeed time is of the essence.
Yeah, 50. That's a lot. Oh well.
Here are your groschen.
Then we may as well start. No. He did break his vow, but better than to dishonor it here. Wake up, lad. It's time we were getting on. So, let's see you read a bit. There's a book here on the table. Try to read it.
Will I manage?
You ought to be able to. It's a simple text. Come back once you've worked your way through.
Okay, got the gist of that, even though it's a little jumbled up. I still know it. I read fast. Sorry.
Hey! Watch it! Folks these days. What is it?
Jeez, everybody's like, get out of the way. Oh. Yeah.
I've read the book.
Wonderful. So tell me, what have you learned?
That being greedy doesn't pay.
Excellent. You're one of my most talented pupils. You've uncovered the meaning hidden in the letters. Like I told you, books are valuable. And the words that you place in them ought to be no less so.
Does that mean that I can read them?
Yes, you have the foundation. Remember, my boy, the pen is mightier than the sword. To fully learn your way around words will take a lot more reading yet. Now we'll move on to the second lesson, which will be much harder. Many books are written in Latin, the language of erudite and religious men. If you really want to be able to read it, there's no getting away from Latin. There's a book on the table with some text. Read it and then come back. You need not understand it, but you should master the letters.
I only just managed the fable about the goose, and now you're asking me to tackle Latin.
You're a clever lad. You'll manage.
Yeah.
Be a bit more careful.
Oh.
read the page.
So tell me, District Poulet, what's written there?
Oh man, I don't really know, because I don't know Italian.
Dullis, liver, tam malus, non liquor party profit.
Not bad, my boy. Good effort. You're almost there. But you better go back and read it again.
Damn it. This guy and his soup. Get out of the way.
What is it?
My guy's getting hungry too.
I read the page.
So tell me, District Poulet, what's written there?
Nullus est liber tam malus. Non liquor parte profit.
Good heavens! Don't tell me you haven't had lessons before. Excellent. Well, there's nothing more I can teach you. Congratulations. You can go and be ordained right away.
Thank you, Domine. I'm feeling a lot wiser.
Good stuff. Interesting. Should go back to that guy's house. See what that word means. What does this guy know?
God be with you, good sir.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanish of Leiper. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Of course. Ask away.
That man Lubosh who was murdered, what was he like?
He was a drunk who was always looking for a fight. Nobody liked him much, but I wouldn't wish an end like that on any man.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Well, now I think of it, I hadn't seen him around for a while. No idea where he was skulking.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
Not a clue.
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to... That's all. Thank you.
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry.
I think it's that way.
I could do with a bite to eat.
Whoa, fell off my horse. past the pretzel place. Dang it.
Good health to you.
I've come in the name of Sahanash of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
I don't know nothing about it, but ask all you want.
That man Lubosh who was murdered, what was he like?
I didn't really know him. He kept to himself, even in the tavern.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Come to think of it, he was in church yesterday. He was even talking to the priest and went to confession. I was wondering what he was up to take to the faith all of a sudden. But I suppose no sin's too dark for God's mercy.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
I was coming from the tavern very late that night, and I caught a glimpse of someone entering the village. He looked like he was in a hurry. It was only a shadow against the sky, but after what happened, I wouldn't wonder.
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
Not with anyone from the village. He used to sit in the tavern next to us sometimes, but he never said much.
That's all. Thank you.
Oops. Right there. Wait, well, let me open the door. What the heck? It just let me go right in there. That's weird. There's nothing in here. The heck? He's just standing there.
Harder for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven than for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do. He's like frozen or something. Weird. That's what the quest thing says. Oops. He's right here, he's just like frozen.
The blessings of our good Lord be with you, Father. I'm here in the name of Sir Hanush of Leipa, investigating the massacre at Neuhof, which seems to be connected to a murder here. Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But ask as you wish, boy. I hope this nasty business will be cleared up quickly.
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
Bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think he was such a bad person.
Did you notice anything suspicious recently?
My child, all sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently. People like Lubosh don't know what to do about it, and sometimes they do stupid things.
That's really not a lot of help to me, Father.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing on the day Neuhof was raided?
Unfortunately, I do know. And I'd like to help you with your investigation, but I can't.
What?
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching dangerous murderers?
There are laws of God above the laws of man's son, and one of those is the sanctity of the confession.
Damn it.
Father, surely you can't be serious. There must be situations in which you can make an exception.
There are things that apply always, no matter what the circumstances, and this is one of them.
Let's see.
For heaven's sake, Father, can you really look me in the eye and tell me that, when you know you may be condemning innocent people to death?
I can, because if I broke that vow, the consequences would be much worse than if I didn't. Maybe not immediately, but one day. The mills of God grind slowly.
This guy's stubborn. Let's see.
Father, Lubosh was my only lead to the Neuhof raiders. Only he could tell me who was responsible for that massacre. If I don't find out who it was, it will probably happen again. Surely you wouldn't want that.
I wouldn't. But I can't betray the sanctity of the confession. I'll tell you what. Give me some time and I'll try to think up some way of helping. Suppose we talk it over in the evening, in the tavern, over a cup of good wine. Maybe we'll come up with something.
All right. Thank you, Father.
Talk to him again.
I see you know how to wield a sword, Father. I wouldn't have expected that from a man of the cloth.
With a stick. I practice with a stick. Reminder of my youth and days gone by, and it helps keep me in good form.
Okay, I gotta wait till nighttime. Now let's do something else. Oh, it's the bailiff.
Day to you. What do you need?
The parish priest here in Ujius, he's a peculiar sort of cleric. I noticed he's quite handy with a sword.
He is indeed. He's as hard as nails. More than once he's intervened in the brawl in the tavern and sat everyone on their asses. Not to be taken lightly.
I doubt he acquired those skills at the seminary.
You know how it goes. The nobles send their youngest sons to study for the priesthood, and our parish priest has blue blood in him. He probably learned to fight at home before he went to university. That's how it goes with those aristocrats. But I heard something happened and he was roving the world for a while. Don't know what he got up to.
Another thing about me, boss.
Okay, so wait till evening at the tavern. What's the pretzel dude? Way over there. Oh, it's behind. Oops. What the heck? My horse is up here. It's funny. Is it stuck? There we go. Oh, I leveled up. Yes, my horse's name is Pebbles. Okay, let me go inside. What the hell? Let's see what time it is. It says meet the parish priest in the tavern in the evening. Okay. Okay. Where's the priest? Where's the priest? No. What the hell? Let me go in the door. Hold on. It does this sometimes, I've noticed. There we go.
I'm sorry I can't tell you everything, but maybe we can work something out. But first I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the honor? Where are you from?
I'm from Skalitz.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about your kin?
They're dead.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Here, we'll drink to them. It must have been terrible.
It was terrible. It seemed so pointless. We had no warning. They just appeared and began the slaughter. God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. The parents, the girl, even the Deutsch who was on Sigismund's side. I didn't make it to the castle. I wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do. Then I fled to Talmberg with the Cumans on my heels. They almost killed me. They slaughtered people in the surrounding villages. There was a pile of bodies in front of a church in Rovna. Folk who tried to take refuge there, but
My poor child. May God grant them eternal rest. And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Hanish to send that old grouch Bernard.
he did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Ujit, so he sent me here to follow it up.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find things out instead of torture. We'll have to drink to that. Now the most important thing. What actually happened in Neuhof? The good folks hereabout are saying all kinds of terrible things, but I take most of it with a pinch of salt.
The rumors aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarreled among themselves and broke off the attack. And judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still settling accounts.
I see it's every bit as bad as people claim. Dreadful. Well then, here's to those poor souls who had to die so pointlessly and so terribly.
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look much like our parish priest at home. I noticed you're pretty handy with a sword. I wouldn't expect that of a man of the cloth.
You know what they say. The Lord moves in mysterious ways.
But this is a bit more mysterious than others.
Let's just say I haven't always been a priest. Fate led me to places where affairs were settled by force. These days, of course, it's just a bit of exercise to keep me in shape.
Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business. So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people to die?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do it again. If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they won't trust anyone, and that's worse than even the most hideous crime. Ale as usual.
I understand, but that means I've reached a dead end. Those cutthroats will strike again, and I can't stop them.
Chin up, lad. I might have a solution.
What?
If I tell you what Lubosh told me, I'd be betraying the confessional secret. But first thing tomorrow, I'll try something I think might help you.
Word of honor?
On my soul.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where else do you get the ideas for your sermons?
Well, Ujits isn't Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be preaching to an empty church.
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard. So what do you preach to your flock about?
It Has Two Popes goes down well these days. And stories from real life, with a nice moral to them, are popular as well. Especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
Can you give me an example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague, in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church, the lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison, and nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated. Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They don't know mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth, and they shamelessly profit from everything. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have absolution. What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their whores in expensive fur. While Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too. Amen.
Well, this Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I don't have a pot to piss in. I'm no better off than the folk I preach to. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and curse those stuffed habits in Sasau Monastery.
Don't you think it's a bit odd when someone boozes and lives in sin with a woman and then criticizes the Pope for debauchery?
No, I don't.
What do you think of this Jan Hus?
He's certainly a wise man. A little overzealous for my taste. If he got out of Prague and came here for a look, I'm sure he'd stop condemning drinking and lying with women.
Where can I find out more about his teachings?
You like it? I copied down some of his sermons. If you're interested, you can read them at my presbytery.
What do the common folk think of it?
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud. Things that make them angry. And they're calling for change. In a few years, it'll have grown beyond control. You mark my words, the people will rise up, and the church will be shaken to its very foundations.
Yeah, unless they burn him at the stake first.
Nonsense. They can't burn a master of the most respected university in Europe.
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough. It's getting quite late. What are your plans, Father?
What do you suppose? We have a drink, of course.
Ah, that sounds like a good plan.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Enough of this!
Bailiff, come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped, and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can ride is me.
Enough! Men! Throw them out.
You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
Oh, dang. Got me a trophy. Oh, shit. I'm drunk and I'm trying to fight this guy and it's hilarious. God. Oh, there's two of them? Oh, what the heck? Oh, did I kill him? Oh, he's unconscious, okay. Oh, I was about to freak out. Oh, this is crazy. Oh.
I'd love to. And Henry too, I'm sure. Right, Henry?
Stop that nonsense, Godwin. Are you out of your mind? What will people say?
They can say what they like. What do I care? What do they do to me?
Watch the step, my dear. Careful, you don't hurt yourself.
Godwin, you're
It won't let me in the door. Whoa, thing's sideways.
Watch where you're going.
Well, I'm a little... How do I...
What?
Oh, damn game. Okay. Close the door. Open the door. Oh, this is crazy.
Here we are. Look at this beauty.
We can't do this, can we?
Who says? Get ringing, wench.
This is wonderful.
Ah, bloody hell. And now, my dears, comes the climax of the evening.
Godwin, you old goat.
Come here.
Oh.
The priest has mounted up. What do you say, Henry? Shall we take a little ride of our own?
Holy crap.
What the hell are you doing?
Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
Godwin, you beast! Get up! Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards!
Oh, fucking hell. Where the... Oh, what the... great friend, Henry. And we have a wonderful time.
Well, you certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, step on in my head. My guts. My poor suffering stomach. What was that woman on about? Before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something. What have I forgotten?
Where the fuck am I?
What the fuck was it? Mass! Oh shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass. You have to help me.
How? You're the priest.
I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me.
I'd like to help you.
You can. You can do the sermon for me.
What? So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No. No, I've got it. Suppose it's Sir Radtic's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look, from what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. And if the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishop's gonna have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh. How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Ubosh's cronies are.
Not a bad deal. Oh shit, that was crazy.
Well, alright. I can't make any promises about what'll happen.
No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do, exactly?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the tavern, and that's that. No need to drag it out. If it turns out well, I'll tell you what I know about Lubosh.
Christ almighty. Fine then. We have a deal.
Wonderful. Let's get to it then.
Oh god.
Come on, Lynn, what's the holdup? No.
Never show up. Swamp.
Look at him. He can hardly walk after his capers last night.
You were with him, you beast. Just as you want.
Look at
sleep a wink last night with all that clamor.
In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Accepit panem in sanctas at venerabiles a manus suas. Ac facite in meam commemorationem.
Brothers and sisters, you may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Scholars, who is here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where, by the grace of God, was able to hear Master Jan Hus from the esteemed Charles University preaching. I've managed to persuade Henry to stand here today in my stead and tell us what he heard. Because, as you all probably know, Jan Hus is a very popular preacher in Prague. So, Henry, you may begin.
Brothers and sisters, let me get straight to the point. I'd like to talk about the church and how corrupt it is. Boy has a cheek. Creation has given to every man the power by which he might rule the whole world. But that power does not give him the right to rule. That right belongs to God alone. It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, humans, hunger, and chaos. And it is all due to the corrupt servants of God who do not practice what they preach. They think sins can be washed away by money, and they sell indulgences, and that's bad. Because sins cannot be redeemed with silver.
Prague didn't do much for his confidence.
It is the custom of the gluttonous prelates and monks to preach against sin. But what do they know of us ordinary folk? Let us remember the marriage at Cana, where our Lord Jesus Christ himself feasted with the other guests and drank his fill. And when the wine was gone, he performed a miracle and created more. He, whose companions were poor travellers, simple folk, prostitutes and troublemakers, performed a miracle so the feast could continue.
Now that's the kind of sermon I like to hear.
No, brothers and sisters. Jesus did not condemn alcohol. Drink to lighten the cross you bear in this vale of tears, but not with such abandon that you cannot keep holy the Sabbath. For there should be moderation in all things, and it is not drinking itself that is sinful, but intemperance and beastly indulgence.
He's right.
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you pay enough coin to Mother Church. Look at them. They booze like hypocrites and buy expensive jewels. They servants of God. And that is not right, because Christ preached poverty. And only poverty and temperance are true virtues.
And it was almost getting interesting.
God sees what is happening on earth, and he is filled with righteous wrath that those who should seek the salvation of souls instead seek mammon and the idle comfort of lucrative posts. Blessed are the shepherds who share the poverty of their flock, who are as one with you and bear with you the burden of this earthly pilgrimage, who do not condemn your venial sins.
Oi! All honor to Godwin! Let him drink like one of us!
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
The lad spoke well, considering what a soak he is.
He's right, Dapples.
The young man shouldn't drink so much, but the Lord's given him a silver tongue.
I don't suppose I'll ever get to Prague. It's only nice.
Well, well, my boy, you have talent, and I can't deny it. And you pulled a thorn from my side. I almost didn't make it.
Yeah, I noticed. I wasn't the only one.
Oh, what's to be done? I'll make it up somehow.
So, about our bargain.
Although it's a sin.
So gluttony. And fornication.
God does forgive the penitent.
So, what did Limpy Lubosh tell you? Was he at Neuhoff that day? Who was with him? And where are they now?
Now slow down. I'm sorry, but he didn't tell me that much.
Don't let me down after all I've been through. For you?
Well, now Lubosh came to me shortly after it happened. His conscience was gnawing at him. And I must say, in the end, he turned out to be a better man than he looked. He said they'd been hired through some crony of theirs. And at first they were just to steal some horses. But then it all turned sour and people started getting killed. And neither he nor his cronies wanted anything to do with that. So they fell out from the gang and fled.
Fell out? Yeah, there was a body found in the woods by Neuhoff.
That would explain something. Lubosh kept jabbering that he wasn't a murderer, that he didn't want to do it.
So I know that Lubosh killed the murderer and he's dead too. The trouble is, I need to find the ones who are still alive. I need names and places. Did he mention any of the others?
Only nicknames. Talked about some fella called Riki from Ledechko, Pius, Timmy.
Pius. That lot are about as pious as I am ordained.
Nonsense. You would make an excellent priest. And anyhow, with your skills, you ought to be able to sniff out this Riki from Ledechko, right?
Well, we'll have to now. There's not much else to go on. Let's hope he's not hanging from the wall too.
Indeed. And I'd hate to be excommunicated for nothing. Anyhow, good luck. You watch out for yourself. These people clearly mean business. And I'd like to raise a tankard with you again sometime.
Yeah, I'll try. Although I'm not sure I'd survive another night of your debauchery.
And if anyone should ask, you heard nothing from me. I'll deny everything.
I don't doubt it.
mud. Come on.
I'm in no mood for talk. You're dead.
What are you doing here? Tired of life, are you? You call that combat? Pig turns up willingly for the slaughter. I'm over here! Enough! You got me! Leave me be!
Chucky chuck, me booty bellow.
Wow. Dang it. That sucked. Crap, I killed all those guys.
Watch out! But fuck me! Or you'll be sorry. Damn, I should have fucked off! Come and get it! What are you loitering here for? Get lost!
Hey babe, you sleep okay? I'm just curious. I got further on the game. Mm-hmm.
Good day to you. What do you need?
And then, you missed it when you were sleeping on the game. I talked to the priest, and he's like, "Oh, we'll go to the tavern and talk about it over, like a cup of wine." And we kept drinking wine. And then he kept rambling about whatever the fuck he's rambling about. Then he's just like, it gave me the option whether to keep drinking with him or call it a night. And I kept drinking with him. And you get super shit faced, and then you ring the bell tower. And he brings up 2 wenches with him. And then they're ringing the bell, and it's keeping the whole town up. And then it goes to the cutscene, and you're in a barn, and they're fucking. It was like a full nude. I was like, titties! And then freaking the guy was just like, he's like, oh, I think this is the best night ever. And then he puked, and then you hear like your guy's waking up. He starts waking up, and then the girl's like, she comes in, she's like, wake up, you drunkards, blah blah blah, like your whole flock's gonna kill you or whatever. And then he's just like thinking, he's like, what the fuck? And then your guy's like, where the fuck am I? And they're like talking, trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. And then I was laughing, and I think it might have saved the, because I was broadcasting it, probably watched it on the YouTube, had me laugh my ass off. Let me see if it saved it. I'll wind it back to that spot so you can watch it. So then, basically for the information that you need, you have to preach for him because he's too drunk to, he's still hungover. And he's like burping in the church. It's hilarious. Let me see, it does like 18-minute intervals. Church? It's hilarious. Let me see.
They won't trust and stories from real life with a nice moral to them are popular, especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices. Can you give me an example? Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan started preaching in Prague, in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a good time. Journey converted old witnesses.
Is there somewhere I could sleep here?
I suppose I could find something. For how long?
Just the one night?
No problem. But you pay in advance.
Here you go.
You'll like it here. Like sleeping on a cloud it is.
Where do I go to sleep?
On the upper floor of the inn. There's steps up to it outside. The middle room is yours.
God damn it, my stomach hurts.
Yeah. Oh, there's just a bunch of dumb updates for games. I have to. Yeah, we're brawling. I had to beat up the two guys.
Drunk fighting is hilarious. You can't stand. I think I heard you say that while I was sleeping. Probably yapping while he's either fighting.
I can't even get at the door. I'm too damn drunk.
Wait, did he just burp?
Yeah.
Or was that you?
No, it's the game. I was having trouble with the door on the game.
I like going up the stairs earlier. Isn't that by the bed?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. That'd be funny if you were hammer your out ringing the bell or something in the shower.
Yeah, we are. Watch.
Freaking animals. You're in a barn?
No, he's bang with the goats. We're still drunk.
Oh, bruh.
But it gets funnier. Anyway, okay. I had to put all my clothes back on. I had no clothes on. So it's naughty. You're filling in for him, you'll see. It's funny.
He's got me wearing like a church gown. Slapping those ears. He's still trying to steal me. Oh, they're both drunk ministering. What the?
And I'm not even a priest, that's the funny thing.
I'm looking for someone they call Riki.
Jesus, who wouldn't know Hinnick?
Hinnick?
That's his real name. I doubt he likes his nickname much.
No, I don't suppose he would. Where would I find him?
Try his folks' house, if you have the nerves for it. The old tanner's a grouchy sod.
What can you tell me about this Hinnick?
What can I tell you? No, he's none too popular. No one cares to talk to him.
Why not?
Well, I'm not the one to gossip, but I heard he keeps bad company.
So there's like many different ways you could make the...
What's the tanner like? Hinnick's father?
The less I see of him, the better. He's not exactly sparkling company.
Why do they call him Riki anyway?
Why do you think? Because he's a tanner, of course.
So why don't people like him?
The old Tanner's not an easy man, but a son should never let his father down. Hinnick does nothing to him. He's always far too busy with his own affairs, though I wouldn't like to say what those are.
And does no one at all talk to him?
That harlot Adela hangs around with him, of course.
Harlot?
She works as a bathhouse wench. Same thing.
What one time? Just the one.
I'd like to make use of the bathhouse's services.
And what is it you'd like?
I'll certainly need a physician to treat my wounds. Then a hot bath and laundering my clothes.
That can be arranged, but you'll pay in advance.
Fine. Here it is.
I'm sure you'll be extremely satisfied.
Those are the nighttime ones. High noon is that color, and then these are just the hours in between. You can either sleep, or you can wait, or you can... I'm all clean now.
Huh?
Said my helmet's all clean now.
Yeah, more than one helmet.
No, I didn't pick that one. I just did the regular. But I could pick that one. Don't like me. Let's see. But I need to talk to a different person. Yeah. And then she walked in here like, who? That was funny. I can't find any other. Oh, maybe they're inside.
I heard you've been seeing Hinnick, the tanner's son.
So what? Come to preach at me, have you? That I'm a loose woman, a sinner, that I seduce decent men?
Yeah. So right now, I'm looking for that guy, Riki, that he was talking about. Yeah, I just had it streaming on YouTube.